Hello and welcome to Control-Delete Tutorials. My name is Jason and we are going to continue our C# Basics programming series. The last one we did was the simple adding program, and then before that we had if statements and logic operators, and then variables and methods. So today what I thought we would do is we would take a look at transform, different transform component properties like position, rotation, and scale. And we're going to look at two methods that belong to the transform class, which would be translate and rotate, which will allow you to make your objects move and rotate. So I'm going to get rid of our script tester for now. So just delete that. And I'm going to create a 3D cube. And right now my camera is set up so it's about here. So what I'm going to do is take the cube and I'm going to move it down a little bit, about -3, so that we can kind of see it down here. So right now we're not worried about the camera moving around, so I'm just going to make the box move and rotate. Okay, so now that I just have it positioned there, I'm going to minimize some of these other components just because we're not going to focus on them. And we can talk about these components more as we get further into what we're doing. We'll just minimize our collider. Right now I just want to focus on transform. So obviously we have transform in the transform class, and then we have position, rotation, and scale, which obviously allows us to position on X. So you can see X here is left and right. Positive X is to the right, and negative X is to the left. Same idea. Right now negative Y is down, and positive Y would be up. And Z, positive Y is forward, and Z, positive Z is forward, and negative Z is back. Now our rotation, we can think of it as almost having like a spear or an axle going through it, and we're rotating around that. So if our axle is going from the left to the right, it's going to rotate around that way. So that's X rotation. Y rotation is from the top down, so it rotates around that direction. And then Z is from forward to back, so it rotates around from forward to back. And then we have scale. So we can scale our object in the X, the Y, and the Z. Now, any component that we have in Unity, we can also get access to the class through programming. So I'm just going to go back to our scripts folder, and I'll create a simple movement script. So we'll do a C# script. I'll just call this move, rotate. Something very simple like that. And that's all I want this script to be able to do, is move and rotate. But we're going to look at a couple things while we're in there. So before we do anything else, let's apply our script so we don't forget to apply it after we've done our programming. Because I can't tell you how many times I've sit there trying to troubleshoot why something's not happening and realize, oh, I didn't even apply it. And that's pretty embarrassing, but you know, we do things like that. So we'll double click to open up Visual Studio. There we go. Alright, so we're going to just start by getting rid of start for now. And we're just going to work in update because we're talking about movement. And if we're moving things, we're either going to end up updating that object every frame. So we're going to do that in update. So I'm going to create two float variables. I'm going to call one, let's make it public, just so we can see it, public float. And we're going to call this H for horizontal. Public float, V for vertical. And I want to go back to Unity real quick so we can look at our input manager. So if we go to Edit, Project Settings, Input, we're going to pull up the input manager here. Now our input manager has these different axes. Horizontal is for left and right movement, but it's just using the left and right controls. It's using left for negative and right for positive. So that means if I press left, this axis is going to equal -1. And if I press right, it'll equal a +1. Same idea with A and D, just like using WASD controls. Gravity is like a sensitivity for button release. So when I release the button, it's how long does it take before that goes back to neutral. Sensitivity is the other way, when I press the button. So this is release when I press. Dead has to do with our joystick. So if our joystick has a little bit of wiggle room in it, it's basically how much do we have to tilt that joystick before it stops reading a neutral response. I'll show how snap works, but it usually has to do with our input. So do we go from one extreme to the other extreme, or every time I change the direction of my joystick, does it snap to 0 and start counting from there? And then invert is like any controls, it's going to swap our negative and positive buttons. So we have horizontal and we have vertical. So those are going to be the two inputs that we use, and we're going to use the string name, which is horizontal and vertical, in our programming. So let's say we make h equals our input. So we call on the input class. We're going to say getAxis. And in our parentheses, we're going to get the string name. So the string name for horizontal will be horizontal. You want to make sure you spell this exactly as it shows in the input manager. Now we'll just copy this and replace out some information for vertical, or V. So we'll do V and vertical. Alright, so let's just start with that. Now this isn't going to cause anything to move just yet. This is just for our being able to show these controls and how they're working. So here we have H and V applied, and when I hit play, we'll see whenever I press left, H counts to -1. When I release, it goes back. So that sensitivity is counting to the one extreme. And when I press right, that is counting up to 1. That is going to the other extreme. I press up and down. You can see those go in. And they're currently set to snap, so if I press them really fast, instead of going from one to the other, they're going directly to 0 and counting from there. So we can see we have our inputs there, and I can use W, A, S, and D also. Alright, so let's see how we apply that. So let's create a speed variable. So public float speed. We'll give it a default value of 10. And we're dealing with float, so make sure you put that F there. Also want to have a speed for our rotation. So we'll do public float. And this one we're kind of looking at the speed being based off of the angle of rotation per second. So how fast do I rotate per second? Do I turn like a half a turn? Which is what I'm going to end up putting. So I'll do this as angle speed. And I'm going to set it at 180 degrees, which will allow me to turn 180 degrees per second. Alright, now we're going to do some calculations here. And the calculations will basically allow us to determine the input here for translate and rotate. So I'm going to make H so that it is multiplied by our speed. So horizontal, I want to control my left and right movement, my rotating. So that's going to be multiplied by my angle speed. And I'm going to multiply that by Time.deltaTime. And I'll explain what that is. Okay, Time.deltaTime. So what delta time is it refers to how long it took to complete the previous frame of our game, so that we can more accurately calculate how our time is based off of frames per second. So in our game, we're not necessarily moving, but every single frame, we are in a new position. So on frame 1, I might be here, and on the next frame, I might be here, and on the next frame, I might be here. So I'm getting a new position each time. And that's what delta time is basically doing. Every frame, it's moving us a little bit. So it gives us the illusion of motion. And I'm going to do the same thing for vertical, but this is going to be multiplied by my speed. Oops, let's do multiply by speed. And multiply is going to be the asterisk symbol. I realize I didn't say that before, but it's the asterisk. Okay, so multiplied by speed and multiplied by time dot delta time. All right, now we've got two methods that we're going to use that are part of the transform class. So those are going to be, so we call the transform class by writing transform. And for movement, we're going to use translate. And translate in the parameters. So this goes back to when we created the add program. We had parameters that we're putting in, or arguments. And so what we're putting in here is a vector 3 for our translation. And then we're going to multiply that by h. So our vector 3, we have some shorthand versions of our vector 3. So if I want to move forward and backward, I'm going to use vector3.forward. And vector3.forward is shorthand for writing 0, 0, 1. If I wanted to do vector 3 right, I'd do 1, 0, 0. And if I wanted to do vector 3 up, I could do 0, 1, 0. Okay, so those are our x, y, and z. So we're going to have that multiplied by our vertical information that we have there, our calculations for vertical. Now what this means is if my input is 0, that's 0 times speed, which is 10, which is 0, multiplied by time, which will also equal it to 0. So that means I don't move. If I press up, then this forward will multiply by the 1 in the 0, 0, 1 will be multiplied by 10 times time, or delta time, and that'll move us forward. If I press down, that's going to be a negative value, which means I'll move backwards. So that's transform translate, and then for our rotation, we'll use transform dot rotate. And it works very similarly. It's also going to use a vector 3, and this is going to be for our Euler angles. So our Euler angles refers to how we see our rotation here, x, y, and z. So that uses a vector 3. So rotation itself is using what's called a quaternion. It's a little more tricky to calculate, so we're just going to use Euler angles. But it's still, like I said, it's a vector 3. So in this case, I want to rotate, and if I want to rotate to where I'm looking left and right, I'm rotating from my up direction, which is my y direction. And that will be multiplied times h. H for moving left and right, controls. All right, and we'll do Control-Shift-S to save. Oh, sorry. That should be vector 3. My mistake. Vector 3.forward, not vector.forward. All right, Control-Shift-S. These don't need to be public anymore. I don't need to be able to make changes to these. So we could either write the word private in or just get rid of the word public. We're just going to get rid of the word public. And once this updates, we'll no longer see H and V. We're just going to see speed and angle speed. And now if I hit play, if I press forward, I go forward. If I hit left, I rotate left. If I hit right, I rotate right. And if I use them together, I can move and rotate. Now my camera doesn't currently follow me, but we're just focusing on these two new methods. Now the other things we have access to here, so if I wanted, I could make it to where, let's say if I want to show, let's say I want to show my readout for my different vector x, y, and z. So if I wanted to do that, I could just write public, print. And if I want to look at my transform position, I can say transform.position. And if I want to see x, y, or z specifically, I could hit transform.position.x. We can see there's kind of a hierarchy to that. Okay, copy and paste that. So let's say if I want to have different readouts here for x, y, and z. Okay, so transform.position.z. And here we'll see transform.position.x, y, or z. Now, rotation won't be written exactly the same. So in that case, I could do Euler angles. For them, and that would give me my rotation. Technically, it's giving me the Euler angles, but that would be an x, y, and z. And if I wanted to gain access to my scale, I could do local scale, and that will give me my x, y, and z for my local scale. So I'm going to go back here to where it was positioned. Now if I want, I can just have this all in one, and I could get rid of these other ones. And this will show my x, y, and z all together. So let's do that one. And we'll see that print out here. And I'm going to turn collapse off so it just keeps showing me this per frame. So we can see at 0, -3, 0. We're going to see that readout. And as we move here, we get that update. Okay. And you can see it's kind of rounding what I have here. So -2.09 is showing up as -2.1, and 7.4, which up here is 7.43. But you can see we get our readout for x, y, and z based off of our position. So transform.position, transform.Euler angles, transform.local scale gives us access to these parts of our transform class or transform component. And that's it for this video. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up or a like or whatever we want to call it. If you aren't subscribing, you know what? Feel free to subscribe. I don't mind. And all I ask is that you guys, if you have something else you want to see, send me a message, post in the comments. Just let me know what it is that you might want to see in this series, and I'll try to work that in. Till then, thanks for watching.